Hey, what is going on everyone? Sunny Decree here and welcome back to another episode. This is going to be a special episode. There won't be a camera, there won't be any shilling, no plugging, so we can fully focus on the most realistic Bitcoin scenario I have ever seen so far as the price is concerned. And we're already looking at it. The basic idea of this theory is not from me. I saw this the first time yesterday on Reddit. I drew some lines on this graph with zero analysis, remind me here, from Lemon Mule. So full credits where credits are due, but now let's jump right into the charts. I know that we have been talking about this a lot. What could the price of Bitcoin potentially do in the future? It doesn't matter if Hyperwave or Griperwave or even Diperwave. We have seen so many theories, and I always told you, well, there is just a probability for these theories to happen. Some of them I would say are a little bit more significant because I personally think that they are more realistic, and some of them are less probable to happen for me personally, like a Hyperwave for example. But what we're looking at right now, or what I'm about to show you, is the most realistic scenario, that is the most realistic theory. So if someone would tell me, well, you have to choose one theory, what is about to happen and in what time frame, that's very important. Here in this theory, we're not just talking about the price, but we're also talking about the time frame. Now let's get started. So what we're looking at is the Brave New Liquid Coin Index, once again, which gives us the longest history of Bitcoin. Obviously, what happened over here in the first cycle, well, it's not all too significant because Bitcoin was new and barely no one knew about it. There were almost no markets for Bitcoin, no exchanges, but even here, if we analyze the fractal, as we do analyze the fractal of the second cycle and of the third cycle, we can clearly figure that there are definitely similarities. To get a little bit more specific, a few explanations first. The lines that you can see over here are not 100% accurate because that's not possible on the weekly chart, but those are the Bitcoin halvings which occur approximately every 4 years. For all those people who have no idea what the halvings are, basically the inflation of Bitcoin is going to get cut in half. So miners are not getting 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. They just get 6.25 Bitcoin after the next halving in May 2020. And that will continue. So it kind of makes sense that the market cycles in 4-year patterns because a halving is happening every 4 years. Not necessarily because the supply of Bitcoin is going down. That's not the case. Only the new supply, the inflation, is going down by 50%. But I think that the halving is getting front-run by investor. They see the potential of the hype for a halving, so it kind of makes sense that from a psychological point of view, those halvings, they have an impact on the cycles. Now let's talk about the subcategories that Lemon Mule came up with during those cycles. I think we all agree that in every of those cycles, there's a bull market where everyone is getting super euphoric and at the end where the price is going very parabolic. Now what we can see after a bull market is always a bear market, where all the people are getting crushed, where people figure, hey, I know Bitcoin is great, but it's not, like $20,000 great if we talk about the end of 2017, and then the market is just going down for quite some time until we hit a bottom. What happens after the bottom is an accumulation phase. After the accumulation phase, and this is quite interesting, we have seen this extension, this parabolic move on 3 different cycles already, but we're going to come to that later. We have this extension, we have this parabolic move, then we're going to go into reaccumulation once again, and after the halving, well, the next bull market starts, as we can see over here. And if we zoom out again, well, of course, it makes sense. Now let's have a look if we find all these patterns on all the different cycles. Let's start off with the first cycle. Well, here obviously we do not have a halving in front of it, but we have a bull market, we have a top, we have a bear market, we have an accumulation phase, we have a parabolic run, an extension phase, we have reaccumulation before the halving, and after the halving, we have a clear bull market. Then the cycle in the middle, but we already analyzed that one. And probably the most interesting part of this video, the current cycle that we are in. Bull market, up to 20,000. Devastating bear market, form the bottom, accumulation phase, parabolic extension, which will be followed by reaccumulation up to the halving, and then we are getting into a new bull market. And yes, guys, I find this theory more realistic than the Kuiper wave. I mean, of course, it could be that we're just going parabolic from now, but I find it way more realistic that this reaccumulation phase, as we have seen it after the parabolic run already, which we had as well, is exactly going to happen again somewhere in this area. We could get close to new all-time highs, maybe we even make new all-time highs, but I do not expect the parabolic bull run until after the next halving, which is in May 2020. So maybe we have to be a little bit more patient than we expected. Now, most of you guys are probably interested in the time frame and also the price levels. And that is exactly what we're going to do right now. So what we're looking at in here is the gain between the top of the first cycle and the top of the second cycle, which is approximately, let's say, 3,600%. From the second top to the third top of the third cycle, which we're currently in, we're talking about, let's say, approximately 1,600, 1,700%. So the gains in percentages also got cut in half. Now let's see where that forecast would bring us in the next and fourth cycle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the gains again, cut them in half. That would bring us at approximately 800%, a little bit more, let's say. So that would bring us in the range of 185,000 US dollars for the next cycle. And if you're looking for a time frame, well, let's just repeat what happened. We were staying in accumulation phase. Then we started into a bull market and we topped out approximately in the first quarter before we went again into a bear market. And that would bring us at a top here in 2021, June 2021, so summer 2021, at approximately 180,000 US dollars per one Bitcoin. And that is it. That is the most realistic forecast for me personally as far as the price of Bitcoin is concerned.